You didn't arrive here by accident, and deep down, you know it. There's something in you that's always felt a little different, like you were meant for more. And guess what? You were. The day and month you were born were not random. They were marked with purpose, woven with intention, and stamped with the fingerprints of heaven. Every part of you, your passion, your sensitivity, your strength, even your struggles, is part of a bigger design. You were born carrying clues about your calling, and one of the most overlooked keys is hidden right in your birth month. Yes, the moment you entered this world says something powerful about who you are meant to be. This isn't about astrology. This is about alignment, about unlocking what's already inside you. Because you didn't come to this world just to exist. You came to awaken, to rise, to lead, to heal, to build, to become. So get ready. What you're about to discover might just shake something loose in your spirit. This could be the moment it all starts to make sense. You're not lost. You're being called. Let's find out what heaven whispered into your soul the moment you were born. Are you ready? Let's go. Don't just watch. Be part of the journey. Hit subscribe now and step into your purpose. The best is yet to come. Those who arrive with the year's early frost are not merely witnesses to change. They are the shift itself. Where quiet lingers, they bring motion. Where hesitation resides, they answer with the certainty of the first step. Carving direction from uncertainty, they hold the unique ability to build paths without needing to see their end. They are architects of initiative, moved by an inner momentum that does not depend on approval or applause. In places where plans collapse or vision is missing, they act not as commanders, but as anchors, steady and unshaken. Their influence comes not from volume, but from motion, like the tide that doesn't announce itself, yet reshapes the shore all the same. If you feel the abundance of divine love filling your heart, now is the perfect time to share it. By clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $100 or more, you can help spread God's blessings far and wide. Your offering will not only touch your own life, but also reach countless souls through this platform. Each of you holds a sacred place in God's magnificent plan, and your generosity will be the answer to many prayers. Take action now. Share your blessings to honor His kingdom. For you were created to accomplish even greater works through His loving hands. May God's grace be with you. With hearts calibrated to the pulse of the unseen, they carry an internal compass tuned not to comfort, but to purpose. The burden of beginning often weighs on them, yet it's not a punishment, it's a signature. Their existence marks a turning point, not because they chase novelty, but because they are wired to initiate restoration in fractured spaces. Their presence challenges inertia. Even when unready, they still move, because waiting for clarity is not their way. Like the spark that ignites without a full view of the blaze, they bring life to what is dormant. And though the weight of being first can press heavy, they were never meant to follow maps. They were born to draw them. Would you like the February section reworked in the same way next? In the midst of a world buzzing with unrest and urgency, there exists a quiet frequency that doesn't seek attention. It simply is. It gently reshapes tension into calm and draws warmth from what feels distant. When noise swells, it answers not with more sound, but with stillness that resonates. Those tied to this frequency do not crave the spotlight. Their influence arrives like mist, barely seen, yet undeniably present. Their energy mends not through great displays, but by subtle acts, by the gravity of their peace. They are not shaped to confront, they are made to dissolve the very need for conflict. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. What flows through them is not showy or loud. It's the unseen work of mending frayed edges between hearts, restoring harmony without requiring a stage. They are conduits of rest in places heavy with unrest, not by effort, but by nature. Just as a gentle rhythm can ease even the most frantic heartbeat, their presence softens without needing to speak. The task given to them is sacred in its simplicity. Carry peace into the cracks and corners that others overlook. It's not about doing more, it's about being what is missing. They are reminders that presence alone can heal, and that often the most transformative light is the one that doesn't cast a shadow. Shall I now rework the March section in the same way? Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Psalm 37:24. There are some people God didn't design to avoid the fire. He built them to walk through it. Not only walk through it, but come out shining. They may get knocked down, but they don't stay down. They may lose everything, but what's inside them can't be taken, because what's in them didn't come from the world. It came from above. Their life is like a tree planted near living waters. Storms come, winds blow, seasons change, but the roots stay deep. There's a divine pulse in them, a spiritual heartbeat that won't stop beating just because things fall apart. And when the enemy thinks it's over, when people have counted them out, they rise again, not by chance, but by assignment. These are the kind of people who carry resurrection in their bones. They're not just survivors, they're rebuilders. Where others see ruins, they see the outline of something new. While others bury hope, they dig into the soil with their bare hands and plant again. They're proof that the end is never the end when God is still involved. You can feel it when they walk into a room. They don't need to say a word, and yet something changes. Not because of noise, not because of show, but because of substance. They've been through something, and they carry it like a mantle. You can't fake that. You can't manufacture it. That's the weight of someone who has come back different. They don't preach from books. They preach from scars. Their wisdom wasn't handed to them. It was fought for, prayed over, cried through. And now, every wound they carry tells a story that helps someone else heal. Not everyone will understand them, but those who are broken will recognize them instantly, because you can always feel when someone's been through the valley and made it out with their soul still singing. Even in their silence, they offer comfort. Even in their stillness, they carry power. They don't have to prove they've been chosen. The proof is in how they continue when they should have quit. It's in how they rebuild when everything around them has fallen. It's in how they speak life into things everyone else gave up on. And here's the beautiful part. They're not just rebuilding their own lives. They're rebuilding the atmosphere. They're rebuilding the hearts of others. They are the ones who help people remember who they are, what they're made for, and how much is still possible. They're spiritual architects, drawing blueprints where others only see rubble. When most people see a finish line, they see a foundation. They don't see what was lost. They see what could still be born. Their mission is to call the dry bones back to life, to take what was dismissed and raise it up in glory. And they don't need perfection to do it. All they need is faith the size of a mustard seed. You know someone like this? Maybe you are someone like this. Maybe your whole life, people have wondered how you're still standing. But you know what carried you through. You know who held your hand when everything else slipped away. And you're not just surviving, you're building again. This calling isn't for the faint of heart. It's not always pretty. It's not always loud. But it is sacred. It's set apart. It's anointed. Because when you rebuild what's been broken, you become a mirror of divine restoration. You become living proof that God doesn't just repair, He makes all things new. So take your place, builder of new beginnings. Stand firm. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right on time. The world needs what you carry. Don't hold back your healing. Don't dim your restoration. Step boldly into the spaces where things have fallen apart and build again. Because your life isn't just about what you've overcome. It's about what your overcoming ignites in others. Keep pressing. Keep planting. Keep building. God didn't bring you this far to leave you here. He brought you this far because someone's waiting on the other side of your breakthrough. And they won't believe in second chances until they see you. Dear brothers and sisters, may the peace of God fill your hearts today. I come to remind you of a profound truth. Our lives are firmly established in God's divine purpose, untouched by the fleeting worries of this world. As Scripture tells us, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Luke 6:38. Like the mighty oak whose roots are planted deep in rich soil, our foundation is anchored in God's eternal truth. Every move we make, every stand we take, is upheld by His enduring strength. Today, you have the opportunity to participate in this divine blessing. By clicking the Super Thank You button and offering a gift of $50, you will sow into a harvest that will return to you many times over in God's abundant grace. There are lives designed not to dazzle, but to anchor. Within them lives a drive not to chase the next thing, but to craft what lasts. They are thinkers before movers, deliberate, thoughtful, grounded. Every step they take is measured not for speed, but for strength. Their nature is to reinforce what others overlook, the framework beneath the vision. They are not chasing applause, they are fortifying futures. When others rush to decorate the surface, these souls ensure that what lies beneath can bear the weight of what's to come. They carry within them a blueprint of patience. Their talent is not in spectacle, but in what holds everything together. Conversations with them feel like standing on firm ground. Their value shows up in crises, in the quiet, in the long haul. They don't impose their voice, but when they speak, it resonates with clarity. Their integrity doesn't need an introduction. It is known in how they hold space, solve problems, and stay standing when others shake. There is a quiet calling stitched into their life, to be the one who makes stability possible, not by fame or force, but by the unwavering presence of someone who knows how to build what doesn't crumble. Their role isn't glamorous, but it is sacred. They are the hidden beams, the steady rhythm, the one who prepares paths, not for themselves alone, but for many others to follow safely. In their presence, the uncertain feel sure, because they embody something rare, endurance with vision. Would you like me to now rewrite the July section in the same fully original style? If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. Proverbs 25:2. Some people weren't made for the spotlight. They were made for the secret place. They carry a hunger the world can't satisfy, and a vision that doesn't come from what they see, but from what they sense. These are the ones who walk with heaven in their heart and a compass in their soul, pointing them toward the eternal. They're not chasing the crowd, they're chasing clarity. Their life is like a lantern in a quiet room. It doesn't shout, it doesn't push, but when it's lit, you notice. It reveals what was already there, waiting to be seen. While everyone else is chasing what's next, they're standing still, long enough to notice what's true. They don't just feel moments, they discern them. Their gift is not in making noise, but in recognizing meaning. These are the ones who wake up asking deeper questions, not because they're lost, but because they're being led into mysteries, led into wisdom, led into intimacy with something higher than formulas and louder than fear. Their walk with God isn't built on routine, it's built on revelation. They don't just go to church, they host the presence in their everyday, and people feel it. They may not always have the words to explain it, but when someone like this walks in, the atmosphere shifts. You start thinking about things you haven't thought about in years. Dreams you buried come back up. Truths you ignored start to tap you on the shoulder again. Because these people live in such alignment with heaven that it reminds you of your own calling. They don't push, they pull. Not with force, but with depth. Their eyes carry a knowing that says, there's more. Their silence speaks louder than most people shouting. Because when you carry the eternal, you don't have to prove anything. You just become the evidence. Their journey hasn't been easy. You don't carry that kind of discernment without walking through some valleys. You don't see that clearly unless you've been through some dark nights. But they didn't get stuck there. They found God in the mystery. They learned to be okay with not having all the answers because they trust the one who is the answer. They are not impressed by status or image or show. They're drawn to authenticity, to integrity, to the kind of presence that doesn't need a platform to be powerful. They don't need applause to feel purposeful. Their validation comes from knowing they are living aligned with what heaven whispered into them before the world ever gave them a name. You won't always spot them in the crowd. They might be the quiet ones in the back row, the ones listening more than speaking. But don't mistake their stillness for passivity. That's power under control. That's depth choosing patience. That's wisdom knowing when to speak and when to just be. They're not here to lead with volume. They lead with vision, a kind of spiritual eyesight that cuts through distraction and goes straight to the heart. They'll ask the questions that make you pause. They'll say the one sentence that shifts your whole day. They'll live in such a way that people begin to remember who they really are just by being around them. They are bridge builders between realms, feet planted on earth, but hearts tuned to a higher frequency. Their prayers go deep. Their worship isn't always loud, but it breaks chains. Their faith is not performative, it's rooted. And because of that, they become safe places for others. People open up to them, confess things they've never said aloud, not because they're persuasive, but because they're present. You might be one of these. Maybe you've always felt a little out of sync with the world's rhythm. Maybe you've been told you're too intense, too deep, too spiritual. But let me tell you something, there's nothing wrong with you. The world just doesn't always understand what's been set apart. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to guide. This is a divine appointment. You are being awakened. The questions you've been asking, they're not a sign of confusion. They're a sign of calling. God put that hunger in you for a reason. That tugging in your chest when things feel shallow, that's your spirit remembering where it came from. You were never meant to float on the surface. You were made to dive deep. And now is your time. Don't hold back. Don't water it down. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. The world needs people like you, people who carry depth, conviction, discernment, truth. You are the reminder that fulfillment comes not from possessions, but from purpose, not from being seen, but from seeing. So lean into it. Pray like you're being heard. Listen like heaven is speaking. Lead like someone who has been in the secret place. Walk like someone who knows where they're going, even if the path isn't clear yet, because it will become clear. And when it does, you'll realize you weren't lost, you were being prepared. Keep pressing in, keep searching, keep choosing meaning over motion. You weren't made for the crowd, you were made for the kingdom. And your time to rise in quiet power has already begun. There are lives designed to carry momentum within them. Souls that seem to understand, without being told, that nothing alive stays still. These individuals are wired for evolution, naturally shedding what has finished its time and leaning into what's next. There's a quiet fire in them, not to disrupt for its own sake, but to gently dismantle what no longer serves growth. They don't fear change, they become it. Wherever they move, they leave behind a trail of quiet awakening. Not because they insist, but because their presence alone challenges stagnation. Their energy is magnetic to those stuck in cycles, silently encouraging movement. They understand that true change doesn't always shout. It sometimes arrives on tiptoe, through courage dressed as calm. They guide others, not with pressure, but with understanding, respecting each soul's unique rhythm. These are the ones who carry renewal in their bones. Even in pain, they find the seed of something new and plant it again. Their courage is not in never hurting, but in continuing to walk while healing. They help others realize that the past can be honored without becoming a prison. They bring perspective to moments of ending, not as something lost, but as space cleared for what is to come. Their essence is quietly revolutionary. They do not cling to what must go, and by example, they help others unclench their grip too. They are not here to repeat cycles. They are here to reroute them, and in doing so, they offer the world a rare and sacred gift, the possibility of becoming new without shame. Would you like the November section rewritten next in the same tone and structure? Now is the moment to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. With a donation of $100 or more, you can actively participate in His divine mission and contribute to His greater plan. Every offering you make reflects the boundless generosity of God, and I trust it will return to you abundantly, far exceeding your hopes. Always remember, His protection and blessing accompany your every step and every act of giving. You are a vital part of His sacred design. You are strong and radiant, steadfast like His mighty rock. Experience God's miracles, feel the rewards of your generosity deep within your soul, and shine your light with boldness and faith. May you be richly blessed, and may the light of the Lord continually guide your journey. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Some people walk into a room, and it's like a soft lamp gets turned on in a dark corner. They don't make a lot of noise. They're not looking to take the stage. But somehow, peace follows them like a shadow. You can't quite explain it, but when they're near, you breathe a little deeper. You stand a little taller. Because something about them reminds you, things will be okay. They carry a stillness that doesn't come from having an easy life. No, this kind of calm only comes from walking through storms and deciding not to let the storm live in them. They've been through some things. They've waited on promises that took their time. But through all of it, they held on to a quiet confidence that says, God's not done yet. When everything around others feels like chaos, these people show up with the spiritual equivalent of a steady hand and a warm blanket. They don't fix everything with words, but with presence. They're the kind of people you want next to you when the news is bad, when the room is tense, or when your faith feels like it's on life support. Not because they have all the answers, but because they carry assurance in their bones. Their gift is restoration, but not the loud kind. They restore through being, through showing up and staying when others scatter. They help broken hearts remember how to beat again. Their strength is gentle, and their gentleness is strong. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. If you're one of them, keep showing up. The world needs what you carry. You're not just a comfort, you're a confirmation that God still sends help right on time. Don't just watch, be part of the journey. Hit subscribe now and step into your purpose. The best is yet to come. They don't only encourage, they awaken what others forgot they carried. Their life is a quiet echo of a larger truth. That light never really leaves. It only waits to be seen again. They are not here to impress, but to illuminate. Not with fanfare, but with endurance. In them lies a message, not just of possibility, but of promise. Nothing about your timing is random. The moment you were born carries echoes of a greater design. You are not here by chance or convenience. Your entrance into the world was coordinated with intent, as if marked by an unseen hand far before it unfolded in time. What may appear to be coincidence is actually precision, an alignment of soul and season. Every chapter tied to your beginning carries a frequency that calls you toward your essence. The pull you feel, the traits you hold, the battles you've faced, they are threads of something purposeful. The gifts buried in you are not accidental, and neither are the places you're drawn to. The rhythm of your life follows a blueprint that isn't always visible, but always exact. What you've been sensing as mere personality is often prophecy. Each month reflects a different facet of purpose. Some confront, some comfort, some lift, others rebuild. All are necessary. None are overlooked. Each one enters the world with a distinct invitation to be something only they can be. Yours is not a label, it's a launch. It does not reduce you, it reveals you. You don't need to unravel it all in one breath. But now that you know your arrival holds weight, you can start walking with clarity. You can notice patterns with new eyes, make choices with awareness, breathe with intention. Because while the world pushes distraction, you've been called to remember, to act from truth, not trend, and more than anything, to trust that your beginning was already blessed with a purpose waiting to unfold. Would you like this same approach for any other section or month?